Okay, so this is part two of the removal and replacement of the aft quarter window regulators. My wife had to go inside. It's really hot. I'm in Arizona. The temperature inside the garage is probably over 100 degrees. Really, about the only other thing I need to show you is a couple pieces of trim you need to remove. Let's go over to the other side, which is still almost fully assembled, so you can kind of get more of a before and after. I did just pull this piece off here. This little piece right here. This is metal, it's not plastic, so you don't have to be too delicate. You just have two small Torx screws that hold this piece on. It does fit into this slot in this rubber piece. Once you have that off, you got to really kind of pull this whole rubber piece out of the way. That's going to allow you to get into that long bolt that allows you to loosen the two pinch points that secure the top portion of the window regulator. Again, I'm not sure if you can see up in here. That's the access point. Boy, right about there. That's the access point for the bottom. So now you do have this long piece of trim here, and also this inside, I apologize, I'm trying to hold the camera and talk. This inside, I'd call it blade seal, that scrapes the inside of the window. Let's go back over to this side. So this is what it looks like with both those pieces removed. This blade piece just simply pushes, you push it back and lock it down. You're going to have a screw in the front here that secures this piece. Not sure if this is showing up too well. I apologize. So that's the piece that goes on the inside of the window that serves as the weather stripping scraper piece. You're going to need to remove that. This is the one that's a little tricky. It's always a nail biting experience, isn't it? When we pull plastic parts off of cars, we're not sure how to get them off. Basically, from what I can tell, you've got a point right here, a point right here, and I believe right here where I'm grasping it with my two fingers. Those appear to be the 3 points that lock this piece down. What I can tell you is when you go to remove this piece, you're basically lever the piece straight up. Just very delicately, just pull it straight up. You don't really go fore or aft, and this should pop out of place. Like I said, it's always a nail-biting experience when we're removing plastic parts from cars. If you do break it, that's what structural epoxy is for. So that's kind of the long and the short of the rear window replacement. Rear window regulator replacement. I had to figure this all out on my own. I had to figure out how to unlock the roof because I made the mistake of leaving the left rear window unplugged. I'm pretty sure that freaked out the computer, and that's why it would only initiate the opening process, but it wouldn't complete it. I got an error message on the panel that said take the car to the workshop. I guess that's what the Germans call the dealership, is the workshop. I'm probably saving myself $1,500 to $2,000 doing this myself. I was able to get both a left and right window regulator on eBay. Asking price was $125, not including glass. I didn't need the glass. I asked if they would accept $100 for each one. It was free shipping, and they did. One other thing I will tell you, your window bolts in here. You got these two metal floppy things, and it pinches the window. Before you remove your window, I highly recommend you take a magic marker and mark the window as closely as possible to these little rubber things. That way when you go to replace the window in the replacement unit, you should have it pretty close in the ballpark as to the position of that window. Now, I believe, again, I mentioned my car is an 05. These regulators came out of a 2010. I believe, don't hold me to this, but I think you can use up to a 2011 window regulator. I was happy to get these because they're 5 years newer than what I have. The other thing I would also highly recommend, This is the other 2010 that's going to be going in on the right hand side of the car. Notice how these slides look very dry. There's very little lubricant in them. And what causes these to break is, you'll see this little piece here runs up in this track, and these two, this piece and this piece, they slide up in these tracks. Well, they rub. They simply rub against this metal, stamped metal piece. And when you don't have any more lubrication left, you're putting a lot of strain on this cable, and that's what causes the cable to tear out of this nylon block here. So what I did is I went down and bought some lithium grease. The reason I went with lithium is, in my research, it said lithium will not melt nylon or plastic parts. Petroleum-based lubricants may or may not melt those. Although I was a little concerned, this lithium grease, I'm not sure what the staying power of it is. It didn't feel maybe quite as sticky as what was on there. So maybe in hindsight, something closer to wheel bearing grease might have been a better choice. I don't know. But what I'm going to do is clean and lubricate both sides of this piece. You're going to lubricate these surfaces where these round pieces ride up and down. And also the two pulleys. If you can kind of jam some grease in there, like sort of how you grease a cone wheel bearing, try to jam some grease in there. You may buy yourself another 5 or 10 years on that regulator simply by lubricating it. Okay, that's it for now from Avondale, Arizona. Good luck on your SLK, and I hope it turns out to be a much easier experience for you from having watched this video. Take good care.